Friends, this is my Merino. I call him Mr. Relatable because he's not filled with an insane amount of expensive parts. And today, we have to change him from this to this. This show here on Spindatt is called Tinker Tuesday, and it's brought to you by my friends over at Park Tool. We have to do a before with voiceover before we get to work. If you missed the build of this thing, it's a steel trail bike with 130 millimeters of rear travel and 140 millimeters up front. When I was assembling it, I was simply just using whatever I could get my grubby tinkering hands on to get it together, which meant stealing some drivetrain stuff from Angela's bike and borrowing the creaky, somewhat worn out bomber from my friend Dan. I've since drawn this cute cartoon of Norton on the head tube and wrote this important message on the chainstay. So, that explanation out of the way, it's time for this thing to get some parts that it actually owns. Namely the fork. We're gonna swap from this red Maserati Bomber Z2 to a black RockShox Revelation. RockShox? I was helped out immensely in getting this fork by my buddies and my favorite shop, Bikes on Wheels in Kensington Market in Toronto. Also, because I sold Pink Panther, I have the GX derailleur that I will put on this bike. And I have a set of True Vative cranks that are on the prototype Norton that I think would be better suited on this. They're 170 mil, these are 170. What are these? Unsurprisingly, I'm starting with the fork swap because it'll have the most visual impact, and I'm not nearly patient enough to let it just be the last thing that's done here. I want to see what this thing looks like with a black fork compared to the red one. Though, I did have a moment of realization that audiences love to know the weight of things, so I took it upon myself to compare each of the forks on this scale. The number of weights of the Revelation fork that I'm putting on is lower than the number of weights on the Maserati fork that's coming off, and therefore is superior, and that is great. I then cut the steer tube crooked and installed it in the bike with the camera positioned in a way that hides how much of a hack I truly am. Okay, fork is on. Let me know in the comments what you think about the black. Do you miss the red already? I am kind of okay with it. Now, you might be wondering, you might have the question, what made you go with a Revelation instead of a Pike? The answer to that question is very obvious if you've been here for a while. If you're new here, it's money. I bought the Revelation instead of the Pike because of money. I don't have any money, therefore the things that cost less, I buy. And the way it's been described to me and sort of reads on the RockShox site, if I can remember, the Revelation basically is a Pike minus something to do with the internals, good enough for me. But in an effort to create some mystery and possibly some intrigue, I'm gonna remove the decals and possibly lie that it's a Pike anyway. Probably one of the easier things to do now is just swapping this NX derailleur off of here. I know I said it in a video before, but wow, this derailleur actually sucks really bad. So we're now getting to the point of most Tinker Tuesdays where the transformation has happened. This final shot here, panning out slowly, is a very great spot to transition to an after shot. Stop! Stop! Why are you leaking all of your air out? What the fuck? Why? I literally haven't ridden this bike in so long. There's no reason. This shot just went from 100 PSI down to 0 for no reason. I don't understand. How can it just be fucking leaking? Oh. This is super loose. This pump is super loose. Come on! Why? This is also loose. Man, this pump sucks. What is this? There we go. That's promising. That's promising. Thank God. Nothing wrong with the shock. It was the pump. Garbage pump from Bontrager. Just needed to be completely rebuilt. Okay, now we can do the after. Finally, after a 2-day timeline, not 48 hours, but 2 days wearing the same clothes, Mr. Relatable is built up with decent parts that work really well and parts that I actually own. So my question to you is, what do you think of the black fork? I've been looking at it for 2 days now, so I'm kind of used to it. I like it better, I think. How's the battery dying on this? 1 second. Now, I weighed this thing. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly what it weighed before, but now, and I posted this on my Instagram, it weighs 33.8 pounds. For context, most bikes, based on the messages that I was getting, most like trail bikes, people were messaging me like, my bike weighs 37, my bike weighs 38, Pink Panther before this weighed 35. I am not entirely sure why this is coming in at like kind of a lightweight for a trail bike. It doesn't have anything on it that's like crazy light. Yes, it's carbon wheels, but I guess my expectation was that it would be 35-ish pounds. 33.8, 33.7 sometimes is definitely lighter than I expected. And I think we could get less out of it without going like crazy bougie, without spending a ton of money. Okay, enough of that. I think that kind of just brings us to the end of this debacle of a transformation build video that we here on this channel call Tinker Tuesday. I want to take a second to thank all of you for being kind of patient with me. I know there wasn't a lot of uploads. I missed the last 2 weeks. Putting this together took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, and it really eats up at me when I'm trying to do stuff like this and I can't post because this needs to get done, but without posting, it's hard to pay for this stuff. So I especially want to thank all of you who support the channel directly through super thanks below. It's especially helpful for this content because it's expensive. It's especially helpful for this space. So I take those super thanks comments and I place them here because it matters. And it's definitely the absolute least I could do, showcase your guys' contributions here in these videos. Thanks a million. Thanks so much. It's literally super helpful. Further to that, as always, to close it out, if you're looking to do stuff like this and you need your forever tools, check out the Park Tools page linked below. It'll bring you to the Jenson USA Park Tools page where you can browse and get a hold of your lifelong bicycle tools. Maybe you'll even start your own channel and yell at your own shock. Park Tool, can you make a shock pump that doesn't suck? I'd love to have that. Okay, thanks for your patience. I'm gonna hold off doing the ceiling for a few weeks. I'm gonna just not work on the garage a little bit to get back into the content. And then there'll honestly probably be another lull in content when I am working on this place again.